And I suspect that this was the first time this horse has been trimmed. So what I do today is going to give her a foundation for having her feet taken care of the rest of her life. So I want to try and make sure that it's a good experience for her and that it's not scary. There'll be plenty of things in her life that are going to be scary. This doesn't need to be one of them. Good girl. Pick that foot up. Great. Good girl. Yes, you're the best. You are the best. Yes, you are. Most horses are left-oriented, not right-oriented. It's easier for them to do things on their left than on their right. And because of that, their right hind foot will be the hardest foot for them to give to you, because they defend themselves with their hind feet primarily by kicking, and it's their hard side, and it's furthest away from the brain. So it's the foot that they have the hardest time giving you. So what I want to do is get to know her a little bit. Yeah, you had a fly on your eye. You had a fly. Look at that. Expressive. Good girl. What a good girl. So I'm just going to get to know her a little bit. Hope that she didn't think I'm a bad guy.
She's been a little sensitive on that right leg down at the bottom, you see, other than that.
Yeah. You got an owie down here. You got caught in something. You got caught. Good girl. Thank you. Thank you. What a good girl. What a good girl. You're the best one. You are. Yes. You are. Thank you. Thank you. What a good girl. You have to be sensitive to when a horse is saying, I need my foot back, and I want my foot back. When the horse wants its foot back, if we need to have the foot, then we ought to be saying no. But if the horse says, I need to have my foot back because I'm cramped, and they can be cramped in their shoulder, and they can be cramped in their mind. They can have, their mind can say, I'm trapped. And if they need their foot back, I want to give them their foot back, but I want to control when it comes down. Because horses become submissive when you control the movement, speed, and direction of their feet. So I wasn't going to let go of her, but I wasn't going to be jerking her around, and I was trying to be firm, and I was also trying not to reef on that shoulder. See, what would I do with a horse that just jerked its feet away? Ground work. Move their feet. Need to go before you go this way. Need before you go this way. Come around this way. Right now, you don't seem to understand. I'm in charge of your feet. To move her over, I'm going to touch her in the same place that I would put my heel if I were an adult. If she were an adult horse, and I wanted her to do a turn around behind the forehand. If I wanted her to step across in the back. That way, when somebody tries to teach her that, it's not different. It's the same. I want to see what's going on with this foot, and there's not too much. What a good girl. What a good girl. Yeah. What a good girl. Yeah. No, you can set that foot down. Thank you very much. What a good girl. You're the best one. You are the best one. The reason that I like to use a hoof jack is because if I pick that foot up and put it in between my knees, I'm going to reef that shoulder joint out. And when I use a hoof jack, I can keep the foot in the plane of the stride and and the horse will be a whole lot more comfortable. And I have never been kicked by a horse that I'm trimming. I don't give them a reason to kick. You know, if they're comfortable, they won't be kicking at you. Now, some of them will kick if they have had a bad experience with a farrier, but there's some other ways to handle that. So I'm going to get a rasp here, and that's all I'm going to use. I'm going to get that foot. And what I teach my horses, I tap the knee and say foot. And after you do that for a while, the second thing to do is to squeeze that tendon a little bit. And it's the horse's job to pick the foot up. It's not my job to pick the foot up. And if the horse won't pick its foot up, then the next place to go is to easy now, easy now, easy now. You're all right. Next place to go is to easy now, is to squeeze the chestnut. The vibrations on her foot are pretty significant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wall down to the sole. So I want to keep this down far enough so that she's not uncomfortable with my lifting her leg too far up. See, now she wanted her foot back, but she wasn't panicked about it. Stop. 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 I'll give it back to you. You need to stop fighting. You need to stop fighting. You need to stop fighting. Good girl. So on the outside, she's got just a little bit of separation between the wall and the interior structures of the foot. So when I do the Mustang roll, I'm going to take that down a little bit so that when it grows out, it won't push dirt up into there and disconnect that. We want to have a nice white line all the way around. She hasn't quite got that. So if dirt tries to force itself up there, then I'd rather have that wall split a little bit so that it's not pulling it away from the interior structures of the foot. I'm going to set her foot up on this post, which is likely to be something new for her. I'm going to have the top of the post about even with her knee. Also, if you look at this foot, I don't know whether you're close enough to look at this foot, but you'll see that there are rings on that foot, and those represent some kind of trauma, sickness, big change in food, change in location. All of those things will be reflected in the foot. It does seem like foals, just as a general rule, will be a little more upright than more mature horses. You're almost always better off, unless there's some kind of a congenital problem, to straighten that foot out and because you can actually move those bones inside that foot to the left and the right. The other thing that you'll find sometimes is if you get way down to the frog is really recessed, that and you don't want to really take it down that far, that if you bring it down to where it looks right based on the live sole, and let's say you've taken off just that much, for example, if you come back in an hour or so, that the bone phalanx will move and that frog will be down farther and be even with the heel buttresses.
So Jim, I got a question for you on foals.
Sure.
Do you open that center sulcus so that frog will expand, or you just leave it as nature has left
You know,
it for
as
you?
a general rule, unless there is a, I mean, this horse has a piece of the frog that's kind of
Yeah.
folded back. I'm going to leave that alone.
Okay.
I'm gonna just relieve the bars just a little bit, but I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, I'm just curious what your
Yeah.
approach was. Well,